Hi, this is Sherry. Welcome to Module 5, where we're going to just take a quick look at the one-way data table. And this is a little bit easier than the two-way, but really very useful. And in the next video, I'll show you how to do a two-way data table. So we have finished with the outliner tool, and you can see that I have outlined this income statement. So if I were to hit 1 here, it rolls everything up, it hides the variables, it hides the detail of the cost of goods sold, and it also hides the fixed expenses. So we can click on the various different levels and show all of it. So I'm going to show all of it right now, and I'm going to come down here to row 53, just because I don't want to put it any higher, because when we start to roll things up, my data table will have rows missing. So I'm just going to enter in here, data table. And now with this data table, what we want to do is we want to see, we're dealing with uncertainty in this unit. So one of the things is that we can take a look at some of the variables that are uncertain, or ones that we are not certain of their true value or what the values could be, and we want to play around with it and see, if I substitute this value in, what happens to my overall profit. This is what we call sensitivity analysis. We want to see how sensitive our profit is, and in this case we want to see how sensitive our profit is to the price that CAM charges per tour at Tread Softly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with do my price here, and I'm going to do my profit here, and I am just going to narrow this column a little bit. So we're going to take a look at price and profit. Now, CAM's price that he has, and we can scroll up here and see, is set at $225. I want to see what happens if I set up at, let's start at 180 and 190. And I am going to copy all of these down until we get to, let's say, 350. There. We want to try different prices and see what happens to the profit. I'll change those to dollars if we want. And then here, I'm just going to put price, and then I'll highlight that as title. Now, where I want my data table to be, and this is a one-way, so it's just going to be a column in this case. And I'm going to, I'm just going to highlight this so that you can see where we're filling in the data table. Okay, so the data table consists of all of the input values here, and in this case we have them in a column. We could do them going across the top as well, and we'll see what that might look like when we do a two-way data table. But you can have a one-way where all the values that we're substituting in are coming across the top. And I think there's an example in your textbook on page 376 and 377 in your Maze textbook that shows how to do one with the data inputs coming in as a row. So in this case, I'm going to fill in this column, but what do I want to have come in this shaded region here? I want it to show the net income, or the profit. Now, I'm not going to fill any values in here. I'm going to let Excel fill those in, but what I will do is I will fill in the cell just to above. Okay, so in this case I could type a formula in here, or because I have everything set up over here, I'm just going to make it equal to cell C60. Okay, so that's my current profit. Now, to set up my one-way data table, I'm going to highlight this entire range. Notice that I'm not just highlighting where the data table is going to get filled in. I'm also highlighting the input area as well. So I have the column, and I also have to have the formula just above it. So I've got my data table lit up there. Now I'm going to go to data, and this is a form of what-if analysis. And so I'll go to what if data table, and all of my inputs I can either fill it in coming from a row or from a column. In this case, you can see that I've got definitely all of my inputs are in a column from $180 to $350. Now, those numbers, where are they going to go? Well, I'm going to substitute them one at a time into cell C3. So I'm going to put C3 as my column input cell, and I'll click OK. Now, I'm going to just roll everything up down here, and we'll see what happened. Now, let's go down, and I have now all of my profits filled into the data table. I'll change them to dollar signs. So now you can see I have all of my profits. If CAM chooses to only charge $180 per person, then his profit will be a loss. Okay. On the other hand, if he decides to increase his price to $250, his profit jumps up to $6,096. Now, one more thing I would like to show you is that sometimes when you've got values and you're looking at a whole bunch of numbers, you might want to just highlight those that fit a certain criteria. So before I had changed this formatting to be the beige so you can see it. Now I'm going to go to conditional formatting, and I'm going to click on highlight cell rules. So conditional formatting, you go to home, over to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules. I want to highlight all the cells that are less than 0. I want to see where I am losing money. So format cells that are less than, so in this case it's highlighted the middle value. I'm going to change it to be 0, and it'll fill them in with light red. So I can see right away I've got a break-even value. If nothing changes, if I charge between $210 and $220, that's where CAM will be breaking even in terms of his price. You can see if I change CAM's price just a little bit, his profit does go up a fair amount. So this is what we call sensitivity analysis. And this is the one-way data table. Thanks.